Hey, how you guys doing? My name is Anthony Ramirez, and this is my truth moment. All right, so my testimony really starts. I was born in Long Beach, California. I'm a child of a Marine, so I'm a Marine brat, and we moved all around. I lived in California first for the first couple of years of my life. Moved to Hawaii, um, and then my dad ended up getting out of the military in Quantico, Virginia, and so that's kind of why I live in Virginia now. But so it's been a long road, but I'm just gonna fast forward a little bit to, I felt God kind of prompted me when I was about 17 years old, and at that time when I was 17, so I felt His prompting, and so I started seeking. I had this Bible that my parents had given to me, a couple of years prior to that, and so I started reading that Bible. I'd skip school lunches and stuff like that, and just go sit in this what we call the zigzag hallway to kind of read the Bible instead of eating lunch and stuff. And then through all my seeking, I actually became an atheist because I became angry with God. I didn't understand like the questions, those questions in humanity that burdened me that I didn't really feel like were being answered. And so, the question either did God exist, or I was just became angry with Him. And so, kind of fast forward a little bit, um, I started doing hip hop music when I was, like 8 years old. I was like 11 years old, really seeking for like a record deal. So it was, music has always been a big part of my life. So I had this group. It was called Second Nature, and we did secular music. And it was my wife that actually said, she says, I really feel like God's calling us in this different direction. Maybe do gospel music or something like that. And and I was just like, I wasn't opposed to it. The other member of our group, he wasn't. He was like, all right, cool. We could be positive. We weren't really cussing in our music anyway. You know what I mean? But so we started. We did a couple tracks or whatever, and then we started making a whole album. And so it's like, okay, so I'm putting on this cloak of Christianity, but God started talking to me, and He said, either you stop making my music or live the life that you're talking about. And so it was kind of like a big reality check for me. And that's when I made my life, my walk with God serious. And then, we actually read this book. It was called The Divine Revelations of Hell by this lady named Catherine Baxter. And I don't really know. I don't put too much, too much stock in her testimony, because you can't really tell. But the thing is, she said God visited her, or Jesus actually came and visited her in the night and actually translated her into hell and walked with her through hell for like 6 weeks. Every night they would go to hell. And so I may have the story wrong. You guys probably know the story or whatever. But that the way that she talked about hell and talked about her testimony and talked about God's love, that more compelled me to kind of want more from the Lord. And so that's when I really decided to really chase the Lord. That's when I started to fast, and I started to pray and really pick up my Bible and became a student of the scriptures. And and then kind of fast forward that really transported me into this place where I was like, okay, my life is about the Lord Jesus Christ. But that's when I really started diving in and really started trusting God, and He started showing me. And He says, Anthony, you're not gonna just be this regular person. You're gonna teach my word. And so it scared the crap out of me, actually. You know what I mean? And so really, it's been what? I was 2005. So it's 2019 now. So it's been 14 years since I gave my life to the Lord. And you know what? Honestly, I will never. We've been through probably the worst trials since I've been walking with Jesus Christ, and I'll never turn back. There's so many things, man, that you know, that the world picks up and takes up this mantle as, you know, you deserve this and you deserve that. And I'm like, really? I said, really, the only thing that I think about is I deserve hell and death because of my disobedience towards Christ. But he took that on the cross for me. You know, he took that and said, you know what, Anthony, I've given you a second chance. Even prior to your birth, I've given you a second chance. And so that's what really drives my life every day. And so hopefully, you know, whoever's hearing this, you know, if you guys are struggling, wrestling with those things, I'm kind of a renegade type person, kind of a juggernaut type person. So I do question things, and I do, you know, wrestle with thoughts, and you know, I'm an intellectual, you know, so those things, I wrestle with thoughts, you know. So if you guys out there, you're wrestling with thoughts, you're wrestling with these things, you know, just stick into the Word and start talking to God, get along with God, you know, and keep those disciplines, because those disciplines are going to keep you. So hope this helps somebody. Peace.